This is Nate. I've known Nate for over 10 years now, and on my birthday, he got me this pair of Nikes. So now that his birthday's coming up, I figured I'd make him a custom drawing of Nikes that he's into. Okay, the first thing I had to do was figure out just what shoes Nate was into. I texted his wife, Haley, who's also known on YouTube as The Sugar Burger, so be sure to subscribe to her as well. And she informed me that Nate was into the Jordan Taxis. His favorite color is yellow, so it made sense. So now we're going to get into the drawing.
Okay, the first thing I did was find a reference photo to work off of. And then, as always, I began drawing rough shapes. I typically like to use the 6B sketch pencil for this. This is all in Procreate on the iPad Pro. For those of you that don't know me, I am Kevin Boudreau, an artist from Connecticut, and this is typically how I draw in a new school fashion is what it's called. And I wanted to give the shoe some human attributes like a mouth, tongue, get some teeth going. I thought it'd be funny if it had an effect like it stepped in gum and the gum was stretching off the bottom sole of the shoe. I always think it's nice when the image kind of tells a little story, and that way the viewer can kind of connect with it that much more. And that's something that I try to be aware of and incorporate in my art. So you can see here that I started really light, and now I'm going in a little darker with the pencil still. Once I do get everything kind of roughed out and I feel that there's a good foundation, good composition, and just an overall just pleasing look to it, that's when I decide that I can lighten the layer, which I'm going to do in a sec here. And then from there, create a new layer that I could draw on top of with the technical pen, just to create a fine line drawing of everything. And you can see here, instead of writing Nike, I thought it would be funny to sneak in my graffiti alias Woke, W-O-A-K. Some of you guys probably think what I do is not graffiti because it's not illegal, at least not the stuff that I'm putting out on here. If you guys get me to 100,000 subscribers, I'll show you a bin full of photos from almost 2 decades worth of a lot of illegal stuff in there, or we'll say stuff done without permission. And yeah, I think I've earned my dues over the years, and I'm getting too old for this crap. Anyways, let's get back to the drawing. So at this point, you can see I'm still using the technical pen. I do have it in the color red, and that helps me a little later. You'll see what I do is I actually lighten this layer. I get rid of the sketch layer, and I'm able to keep this layer at the top so that I can begin to color underneath it while still having some of that top layer show through at least until the end. Also, I just want to put out a tiny disclaimer. I'm sure there's plenty of better, more efficient, or just different ways to do the drawings in Procreate. This is literally just how I do my drawing, so I'm just kind of walking you guys through it. As you can see, I'm referencing again here. I grabbed an image with gum stretching from the sole of the shoe just to help me out. And now we're getting into the color. So I'm actually going to explain to you guys just exactly what I'm doing. So with the technical pen still, I'm going around and tracing out the image and then clicking and dragging the color into that shape and area. You do have to make sure that the area is fully closed with the technical pen before dragging the color. I'm actually going to show you that as well in just a second. But this just helps me to create a base layer of all the colors and see them laid out in the shoe before I do my shading. The way that I keep all the color within the lines or the areas that I mapped out is by using the alpha lock layer. And here I am right here describing showing exactly what I just described. So I'm tracing around with the technical pen. And once I know that my lines are fully connected, I can go to the upper right hand corner and click and drag the color right into the shape, and then go to my layers and hit alpha lock on that layer. And I'm going to use the hard airbrush tool to begin to color in that layer, and that way it will stay within the lines. Also, I forgot to tell you guys that when I talked to Haley, we created this idea we thought would be fun to kind of collab. So she decided she was going to make a cake of the shoe. So I'm going to show it here on the screen. This was her first time using fondant. So make sure you write in the comments, "Awesome job, Haley." And she also sent me the reaction video when she showed Nate the cake. And the reaction, in my opinion, wasn't very good. So I was pretty scared to give him this drawing.
You're going to film it?
Looking the same.
Ah! Look at that. That's cool. Is that supposed to be a taxi?
It is.
Was that hard?
Yeah. It looks like it's from Wish.com.
That is Nike check.
All right.
Pretty harsh and critical, but anyways, let's get back into this drawing. So for the background, I just clicked background and selected this color that I thought would actually play well off of the yellow. And I added some shadows. You could see this is also again with the airbrush tool in a separate layer. And from there, I went in with, I think there was a spray paint tool or something that said flicks. It's like little tiny like flicked splatters that I like to do. And I just thought that would add just a little more to it, just so it's not just a plain background. And I'm still using the airbrush tool to create all the little textures on the bottom of the sole, still adding some shading here and there just to make it nice and defined. I'm also adding all the little threads just to make sure I don't skip out on any details. And this is my favorite part, adding the shines just to bring it to life. These are the final details. I also go in and just make sure that once I deselect my layer that was the original red line drawing, I could just fine tune little things here and there just to make sure it's perfect. And now it can be printed and handed off to Nate.
All right, I just went to a local print shop. I got this print made. So now I also found a frame that I'm going to put it in. This happened to just be in my basement, so I got lucky. And I just gotta sign this real quick, pop it in here, wrap it up, and it's good to go. Okay, I'm about to meet up with Nate, and I got the present all wrapped up with this beautiful unicorn wrapping paper. So we'll see what he thinks in just a sec. Okay. And you have to have a better surprise face than when you opened, when you saw Haley's lovely cake.
Yeah.
Do you know this? Oh shit. That's it doesn't look like the clown shoe.
It doesn't look like a clown shoe. I guess that's a good reaction. Also, do you want to give your YouTube channel a shout out? What is it?
It's alright. It's all
I'm tagging it in there. What do I write at the bottom of the screen?
Mr. Average Life.
This is him right here in the present. You're in the presence of greatness with Mr. Average Life. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, subscribe, share it with someone. And yeah, if you want to see more of my artwork, you can always go on over to my website, kbooart.com, where I've got plenty of merchandise available. There's shirts, there's prints, there's stickers. Yeah. And also be sure in the comments to write, "Happy birthday, Nate. Love you, buddy. I hope you enjoyed the present." And I am, of course, just teasing about your reaction. They're always great. Take care, guys.